it's either the NBA or the NFL or something. They're living at Disneyland.
What?
Huh?
Like it's like the NBA. There's a bunch of NBA teams living inside the Disneyland resort in some city.
Just living in Cinderella's castle.
It's completely closed off, and it's like an NBA only area, and it's so that they aren't exposed to COVID, but they're still able to like do the games or something.
I think you're right. Yeah, I think like the NBA's like got like COVID like really locked down. Like they don't have like any cases in like games or anything.
They fucking hijacked Disneyland. That's horrible.
I think Disneyland is still open, right? Like,
Yeah,
I think they opened up
Really?
recently.
All
Do
the
you remember?
there's no restrictions in Florida anymore. They lifted it all.
Jesus.
Because a lot of the states, Florida is one of the few states that doesn't have personal income tax, and a lot of their revenue comes from tourism. So it's in their best interest to have
Right.
everything open right now.
Dude, when they
Yeah,
shut down Disney World,
Their
and
best
all
interest.
those teenage white girls were posting on Instagram like, "Oh, there's no magic in the air." He's like, "Oh, no Disney World." It's like, "Oh my god, are you really this much of a fucking slave to a cartoon rat?"
There's plenty of magic in the air. It's
Like, come on.
it's called COVID.
Toby, do the quote. Do the quote.
What?
What was that one you did in the video? You're like, my crater is it?
Oh, yeah, yikes.
Yeah.
The weird fucking Disney
Yes.
roots.
Oof.
Dude,
That's right.
Walt Disney was a fucking crazy ass person. He was trying to build a utopia before he died. That's what Epcot was supposed to be. It was supposed to be the
Epcot?
perfectly designed city.
Hmm. Yeah, they had like monorails and
I
shit.
didn't
And that was
even-
back in like what, like the
Yeah.
70s or 80s or some shit. Like what the fuck?
I think it was the 60s. I think it was like
some
it was
old
like
shit like that. Yeah, it was like way ahead
it
of
was
its
like
time.
50s, 60s. They built it on his swamp.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
the hell is Epcot?
Epcot. EPCOT.
It's the one with it's got like
It
the big
stands-
white ball in the middle that looks like a
Yeah,
golf ball.
The
That's
giant.
Epcot.
Let me see what it
I don't know.
stands
Is that like
for.
a where? I've never even heard of that. I'm not American.
There's like 4 different parks. There's like what, Epcot,
Ah.
Magic Kingdom, Animal Kingdom, and one other one.
Epcot stands for the Experimental Prototype Community of Tomorrow. So Walt Disney was eating tabs of acid for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But he had the right idea. I mean, if he managed to actually like pull off Epcot and like make this new age futurism type city that would be
look at
like
this shit. That looks
amazing.
so futuristic. Imagine seeing that back in like the
Yeah, I'm
70s
looking
or
at it.
some shit.
Yeah, dude. I mean, this was like the 1960s, an experimental concept. There was a video I watched not too long ago.
Oh,
that,
1982 is when it opened, apparently.
yeah,
Like the public.
like there was this video I watched a while back, but it explains like what Epcot was meant to be like in its entirety. They pulled up like plans and like maps and like systems and all these different things, and in the way that Walt was going to put it together was like fucking pretty insane. But then he died and then got his body frozen in liquid nitrogen so that he could be reanimated in the
Look at
future.
that. That looks like so futuristic. Imagine seeing that shit back then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it came from that. Like, was this being like thought of in the 70s, 80s, that sort of time? Like,
This-
that was sort of a period
Yeah.
with very grandiose visions for the future.
Yeah, 50 and
of, like,
60s was
Yeah.
like futurism was like their
Yeah.
big thing.
I guess because there was just such a massive technological boom.
It's a
at that
space
point.
race. It was because of rockets, because we landed
Space
on the moon.
race, Yeah. And so everyone was like, "Oh wow, we're gonna be living on the moon together in like 20 years. It's gonna be awesome." Like everyone thought like the year 2000 would have hoverboards and
Nah,
fucking-
dude. The Soviet Union collapsed, and then America was like, fuck the moon. Well, it's just a fucking dumb rock in the sky. We already
It's
put
a
our flag
dumb
there.
rock.
Fuck it. But now
that-
Elon's
that,
like,
literally
"Ooh, I
post-nut
can
clarity,
do
but
my
for-
futuristic city on Mars. And now everyone's like,
that's the new shiny thing.
Yeah.
Until we set foot on every planet, they're going to be desirable to us. You know?